I am Slick Nick, and I've got a question for you. Is becoming fit your goal or your wish? Because ultimately, I can tell you personally, for me, it's absolutely in my top 5. Of the top 5 things I care about on a daily basis, and that when I look at my life 5 years from now, that will still matter to me. Absolutely, that's one of mine. I base my schedule around that. I base my thoughts around it. I base my energy around it. I plan around it. It's important to me. So like, for example, in my top 5, my faith in God, my marriage, being a parent, my job, my career, and then, my fitness goals. What I've learned is a lot of people have fitness wishes. They wish they could lose body fat. That's what they wish for. That's what they want. But ultimately, it's not a goal. There's no plan. I mean, for a guy like me, I keep this notebook. I journal everything. Right now I'm on a 2,000 calorie plan that gets me 100 grams of protein every day and probably at least 150 grams of fat, but less than 20 net carbs a day. And I'm going to the gym 3 to 6 days a week, and I'm walking at least 3 miles a day. Very, very little cardio, and that's a thing that trips a lot of people up. They think cardio equals burning fat, and they think eating fat makes you gain fat. It's quite the opposite. Cardio actually doesn't help you really burn fat. What it often does will burn calories, and those calories are usually carbs, and so it doesn't even tap into the fat. And then if you're running, like for example, well, then that triggers cortisol, which stores belly fat, which totally defeats the purpose, which gets people in a very frustrated state because they're working so hard and it's not working. Meanwhile, someone like me figures out how to hack the system. For me personally, it's keto, and it's working for me. Even before I went full keto, look at this. This is how full keto I am. Okay, this stick would be pink, sort of the color of my shirt, if I were, in a decent keto state. Well, it looks like it's barely off white to me. I mean, I'm super keto. This is, by the way, I picked this up today, keto test. So this thing is absolutely working for me, but it's also because it's one of my top 5 priorities in life. And when it comes to fitness and health, I'd say you can't reach your goals if you don't put it in your top 5. I think that's really what it comes down to. And understandably so, it's hard for most people to put that in the top 5. I'm thinking 5 years ago, when my daughter, who's now 5, she started kindergarten this week, but 5 years ago she was an infant. And it would have been hard for me to commit to this. Now granted, if I had another kid now, it would be easier because even if I couldn't go to the gym as much, I could at least try to find time to walk, and I at least have a very strict regimen as far as what I'm eating, and I would know how to do all that. So I could work around that. But I think for a lot of people, they just don't have a plan. So ultimately, I think it's those people who have those fitness wishes instead of fitness goals. They wish that they could lose weight. I'm going to drink less and eat more salads. That's a reference to Tim McGraw's song, I think, My First 30 Years. And that's what they try to do. I was telling my wife today, we drove by a Subway, like the restaurant chain, and I told her back when I was like 25, I met her when I was 26. So I was 25 and I was single, and I was trying to, do things right. And I was telling her today, I said, I remember the day that I said, okay, now when I go to Subway, I am only gonna eat the grilled chicken sub, because I didn't know better. I was eating tuna and meatball subs, which have the highest fat, which is not necessarily a problem, but man, you're eating that big old thing of bread, which all those carbs. Now I know, flat out, I can't eat at Subway. There's nothing I would want to eat there because for me, it doesn't help me reach my fitness goals. But that was as good as I could do back then. That's as good as I knew. Now, as a 40-year-old man, 15 years later, I get how the thing actually works. That all this cardio that a person does, it just burns calories. And it's gonna make that person hungrier and need more calories anyway. So now I get how it all works. But I can tell you, being fit is in my top 5. And that's why I'm this way. That's why I've reached my goals. That's why I've maintained the fat loss. And that's why I still have a plan to eventually burn off that final 10 pounds of fat on my stomach. So you have to ask yourself, is being fit truly in your top 5? And if you don't know what your top 5 are, I can tell you the answer. It's not.